Welcome to another video from yours truly, Redhead Takes. Today we'll be going over the Packers' initial 53-man roster and some surprises. To be honest, not too many surprises for me. It's a very good list, and I'm glad a lot of the players that I thought would make it did end making it. A couple that did not, but we'll go over it here. Let me know what you think of the video here. If you like what you see here, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, make sure you give that thumbs up, and subscribe if you truly like what I'm doing here. All I'm here is to entertain, give information, and just generally give a good, honest take on what I see. Never gonna BS anybody, just going to give you my thoughts, and my thoughts don't change for anybody. What you see is what you get. I hope you enjoy. But let's start off with the offense. Of course, the offense is the most important part of any team today. Ask the NFL that, and offense is all that matters. I mean, yes, we love our defensive players. We love big plays. We love sacks, interceptions, pick sixes, all that. But if you ask the NFL, they much prefer more points on the board. So we always have those random penalties that don't make any sense that screw teams over, a la Green Bay against Tampa Bay a couple years ago, where only Tom Brady gets that pass interference penalty. But I'm not bitter at all about that. I've moved on. And because the Packers are going to be a very good team this year, they're going to surprise a lot of people. And this roster, just looking at it from top to bottom, looks pretty great. It's very young, but it's going to be great. Of course, Jordan Love, #1 quarterback. Sean Clifford makes it his backup, of course. And Alex Magoo, what we saw from him during the 2 practices that I went to and the minor amount of preseason action that I got, I would think he would probably make it into the Packers practice squad eventually tomorrow. But Jordan Love, he's going to surprise a lot of people. Sean Clifford is going to be a good backup. To all those people that thought Sean Clifford should replace Jordan Love after the first game, we saw after the last 2 games that he is not going to replace Jordan Love. He could be a very good backup quarterback and maybe someday get his own starting position somewhere else. Or who knows, if Jordan Love F's up and everything, maybe he could be a starting quarterback next year, but I don't think it's going to happen. And of course, we got Aaron Jones, #1 running back, of course, A.J. Dillon backing up, but it's going to be a 1-2 punch out there. And what do you know? Emmanuel Wilson working. He works so hard, and he showed it all preseason long. And of course, he gets that 3rd running back spot. Sorry to Patrick Taylor, and I'm so sad that Tyler Goodson didn't make it, but he had his injury issues, so he wasn't going to make it. But Emmanuel Wilson looks great. He looked great all preseason, so it makes sense why he's here at the #3 running back spot, which is really good to see. It's good to see that the Packers are keeping 3 running backs. Don't want to have any injury issues there. Don't want to have any questions about who's going to be there. You have 3 guys, and all of them could suit up on Sunday and do a good job. Behind that offensive line, it's going to be a very good year for running backs for the Packers, like he usually is. And then we have Watson, #1, Dobbs, #2, Samori Toure, Jayden Reed at 4. I'm surprised. I would figure Jayden Reed would have been 3rd on the depth chart, but he's still going to get his touches. He's going to be used in end arounds. He's going to use it in special teams a lot, I'm sure. He's going to make his plays, and he's going to surprise a lot of people this year. For all those people that thought JSN, Packers should have gotten JSN in the 1st round, well, you got Jayden Reed, who's more of a deep threat guy, can run more routes, and JSN got hurt. So make it that what you will. I think Jayden Reed will end up being the better prospect within a couple of years. Time will tell. Well, we shall see. Of course, Dontavian Wicks turned a lot of heads in preseason in several games, and on the practice field he looked great. And Malik Heath, just undrafted wide receiver out of Mississippi, is just that body type, the height, the speed, the natural athleticism got him that 6th spot at wide receiver, and I'm glad he made it. He's gonna get his touches this year. Actually have a very solid receiving core. Very young, yes, very young, but they look great. It's going to be a very interesting year to see for the Packers. And of course, tight end, Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, Josiah DeGuara. I think DeGuara is going to surprise some people this year too. They have 3 solid tight ends. I mean, very young, of course. Luke Musgrave and Kraft are going to have to learn on the job, of course, blocking. We need to pick up blocks and everything else. But Luke Musgrave looks like he's going to be the real deal. Tucker Kraft, who looks great too. And DeGuara is a great blocking tight end with the ability to get open for a pass here or two, which would really help a lot. In the offensive line, Elgton Jenkins, Bakhtiari, of course, Josh Myers. I guess this means where he sits on. I don't know if this actually breaks down the depth chart. I wonder if Josh Myers will actually be the number 1 center. I don't think he should be. I think he should be that 6th offensive lineman on the very outside. I just don't think he's very good. I think it's been borne out the past couple years and in the preseason that Josh Myers should not be a starting center for the Green Bay Packers. A lot of other guys on this team can play that position. Zach Tom, for one, can definitely play the center position. And of course, Jon Runyan, who's been very solid. Josh Nijman, we know he can play tackle. He's probably going to be right tackle, I would think. Royce Newman has had his struggles, but he's still there. Sean Rhyan, yes, he had his really bad year, had that PED suspension, but the guard depth is not so good, so that's why he's here. Zach Tom is so versatile, probably going to end up being one of the best picks to come out of the 2022 NFL draft for sure. Rasheed Walker has just been solid all preseason long. He didn't give up a lot of pressures, or he didn't give up a lot of any sacks. He just looks out. And Luke Danuta, who will be back at some point off the injury list. So very good looking starting line for, or starting offense for the Green Bay Packers. Lots of interesting stories there that I will look forward to following through the year as we go along. But very excited for the offense this year. Going to turn a lot of heads and just maybe challenge for the number 1 spot in the NFC North. Lions are not going to lock up this division right away. They're not. The Bears are going to finish in 4th, and yes, the Vikings are still the Vikings, but they're going to regress from last year. It's just only natural after the season they have. But Packers, watch the Packers. They could very well finish in the year in the end of that 2nd spot and maybe make a wild card spot. And very, very possible if all things turn out that they are the number 1 team in the NFC North. Watch out, people. Don't just dismiss the Packers just because Rodgers is not there. We Packer fans are appreciative of what Rodgers gave us for the 18 years he was here, but it was time to move on. The Packers are much better off now without Rodgers than they are with him. There's just no getting around that. Sure, Love is not as good a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers, but just the simple fact that there's no drama, there's no BS, there's no, Gutekunst didn't call me. I've been trying to get a call. Like, no, none of that. Go with the Jets and play with their awful franchise. Go. Good. Packers have a new leaf. Their offense is going to be really surprising to a lot of people this year. And we have the defense. What a great looking defensive line. Seriously, very underrated defensive line right here. We have Kenny Clark, of course, TJ Slaton, who showed up a lot this preseason and in practice. Devontae Wyatt is going to take that next step this year for sure. And then you have Colby Wooden and Carl Brooks, who have just been great, or later round picks, and they just show they can rush the quarterback like anybody else. They're going to be great second string rushers that you can just bring in at a moment's notice, and they will be able to pressure the quarterbacks really well. And Jonathan Ford is no slouch either. That's a very underrated defensive line in the NFL, and it's going to really show up on Sunday this year. It's nice to see that Kenny Clark will have a couple of very good guys behind them so that he doesn't have to do all the work. Kenny Clark has been very solid throughout his whole career, even when he didn't have guys behind him. Just think of what he can do with 3 solid guys, or with the whole solid defensive line right there. I mean, it's going to be really good. Devondre Campbell, of course, starting inside linebacker. Quay Walker should take a step. I mean, he looked great all year. Yes, he had his 2 ejections, but hopefully he's hopefully he's matured and gotten better. Isaiah McDuffie is a great linebacker. They're pivotal on special teams. Eric Wilson, Tariq Carpenter, great inside linebacking core. Definitely one of the best they've had in a long time. We have outside linebacker for us with Preston Smith. Rashawn Gary will be back. I don't know exactly when he will be back, but he will be there eventually. Kingsley Enagbare got a couple sacks during the preseason. Is going to improve. Yes, he's going to be ahead of Lucas Van Ness, but watch. Lucas Van Ness is going to learn, and he's going to get better and better, and he's going to surprise a lot of people. He may not be Rookie of the Year like I had in my poll, but he's not gonna be the bust that some people are calling him already. Like, come on, he hasn't even played a real NFL action. Yeah, he's played a couple preseason games, but he hasn't played on Sunday in September. So Justin Hollins, great. Brenton Cox making the roster good. It's good to see. He's been working so hard to get here. He's able to rush the quarterback like anybody else. He can really get at it. I really like him. I hope he can really improve and get better because he had such talent going into college. Basically, he could go anywhere he wanted. He's just struggled to make it back after being an undrafted free agent. He's going to be good as well. Hopefully, he sticks around longer than just the first couple weeks of the season because he's got real upside. Of course, cornerback Jaire Alexander, Rasul Douglas, Keyshawn Nixon, and Carrington Valentine, 7th round pick, making it in as the 4th corner. But he showed a lot this preseason. Didn't have a lot of games where he really looked bad, and he's just solid. He gets in there right at pass defense. Can rush a little bit too. He's gonna be really good. Probably not gonna win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he's gonna be one of those unsung defensive rookies that people are like, oh, wow, he fell all the way to 7th round. What are we doing? And then safety, of course, you got Darnell Savage, probably his last year in Green Bay. Rudy Ford, great. Jonathan Owens, good to see him making the team. Dallin Levitt, great special teams player. And Anthony Johnson making the spot. He had his moments during the preseason, and another late round pick that makes the roster after Tarvarius Moore suffered a knee injury, didn't really get in there during the preseason at all. It's good to see Anthony Johnson Jr. make it because he has real athletic ability, and I like him to make some moves this year. Maybe not take the next step until next year, but he's going to look really great. And of course, you got special teams. Anders Carlson, yeah, for what? He's probably going to be up and down all year, but and like I said before, I still think Mason Crosby at some point will make it as the offensive or be the kicker for the Green Bay Packers at some point this year. He's got that leg. The leg has never been the issue. It's always been the accuracy. He'll get better. Hopefully, yeah, just give him a chance. I mean, we really won't know what we have with him until we get to the rainy season, the winter. We won't really know what we have, but it is what it is. And Dan Whelan making the spot, taking it away from Pat O'Donnell. Pat O'Donnell on the way out. Probably some dead money there for sure, but Dan Whelan has a great leg. Undrafted free agent coming in from the XFL. He has a big leg. He's going to be great in punter. He'll get better. He's very young. Like I said before, this team is very young, but there's so much upside in this team overall. It's hard to say they're just going to be bad. They're not going to be bad. Maybe 9 wins is the zenith, but with the NFC the way it is, that just might be good enough to get a wild card spot. So there are my thoughts on the initial roster for the Green Bay Packers. Oh yeah, Matt Orzech is expected to be resigned as a long snapper again, so that's another thing. But if you like what you see here, give it a like, thumbs up, all that. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.